All right. This is what they call a raw video feed. Raw because I'm holding it in my hand, and raw because we just got out of a very intense session. Just got out of a
less
session.
than a minute ago.
So we didn't even sit up from the couch. We didn't set up the studio. We're just going to record because we said maybe we should record. How was the session for you?
Ooh.
It was coaching session.
It was intense. We went to this place where we're right now just starting on how we communicate with each other. And basically, I think we're going to start rebuilding our vocabulary and our toolbox. And so in that, of course, we have to come to what is underneath that. And, I'd say, I think Greg and I think we communicate pretty well.
We like to think so.
We like to think so. And man.
And yet. And yet.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the particular back and forth we had around the thing that I said about myself?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how we got into it, but it was a major stumbling block for us always in having an open relationship is this sense that Kari Lynn has. Maybe you should describe it.
Well, so Greg describes his desire to be with other women basically as a sexual orientation. I've heard you say that many times. I think that's a really good way to describe it.
That's how it feels.
And there is this, I will call it a defensive part of me that doesn't want to believe him. That just doesn't want to believe that that's true. And so today we were just doing really basic reflective listening.
Yep.
Just very basic. This is a very basic concept. It is just simply someone says something and the other person reflects back. It can even be word for word what they said. And we can do this. We can do this for the most part. We often do. We use this tool a lot. And we use it for coaching a lot too. And there is in this one thing, so Greg was just telling me what about his desire and what it meant or didn't mean to our partnership. And there is, my job was to, or my assignment was to reflect it back to him neutrally. I didn't have to believe him. I didn't have to agree with him. I didn't have to be okay with anything that he says. But it was just to acknowledge that he said it. Really. That's it. That's really the basics of it. And I had such a hard time doing that.
Do you want to go into the specifics of what I said and what you reflected and
go?
Because I think there's a background here, which is there's a I'd call it a story, which technical term story may or may not be true. It's something that Kari Lynn believes and holds on to, which is that if she were X, if she were something else, prettier, I don't know, whatever, richer, if she were this or that, then I wouldn't have other partners. I wouldn't have the desire. And the story then is that the mere fact that I want to have sex with other women is inextricably tied to who she is. Yeah. And so that was really where we started. That's how we got into this. Yeah. And so, and this is where the thing with sexual orientation can come in, where, in a sense, I can say, and I do say, that my partner, who my partner is, the characteristics of my partner are not part of, they don't affect whether I want to have sex with other women. They never have. I've never had a partner who I've never been with somebody and not wanted to be with other people. And so therefore it's not about my partner. And that's something that I believe. And there's a question in the session. There's a question of whether I'm deluded about that. Like I may be deluded about that. We're not actually saying that I'm right about that, but it is what I believe. I believe that my partner isn't the cause for me wanting to have sex with other people. And if she were different somehow, it wouldn't mean that I wouldn't want to have sex with other people. And so we distilled this down to a single phrase, which was something like, well, maybe it wasn't a single phrase. It was something like, I want to have sex with other women regardless of who you are. And I've never had a relationship or a partner where I didn't want to have sex with other women. And I'm sort of saying these things that aren't quite what I said in the session,
Right.
and maybe you can tell me what I said in the session, because you ended up saying it back to me a couple of times.
Right.
So the first time that you responded to me,
Yeah.
you said these words, something like, and there was this expression on her face. It was something like, when there was this shaking, like, I have nothing to do with you wanting to have sex with other women. It was this, it was funny. It was funny because she obviously didn't believe it and was kind of making fun of it. And just like, no, that couldn't possibly be true. And when we got back, we went around a couple times to this place. And do you want to try to say it again in front of the camera?
What?
The way you said it.
The last time?
Yeah. Or the first time too. Do it both ways. You can probably do it better than I do.
Well, the first time it was just like, you want to have sex with other women, and it has nothing to do with me. It was kind of like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got around to this other place.
And then I got to this other place. It was just, I had to, well, first of all, she had me say it again, nodding my head yes, which actually was a really good step. Like, it's, this is a psychological trick that people use. I've heard of this before. And that helped. That helped a little bit. Like, it kind of like told my body that it was okay for me to be saying this. Because that was really one of the things that was going on, was my mouth is saying this and my body is just like saying, hell no, you're lying. Like, that's what my body was saying. And so there came this moment where I guess got to tell my body that it didn't have to believe what I was saying. Like, it's okay. It's okay because it's not about me. Like, what we were doing this was about Greg and about me hearing him and just what I call being in approval of what he says. And being in approval doesn't mean agreeing or believing or anything like that. It's just meaning this is what is. And what is Greg said this. Mm-hmm. Greg said this.
It doesn't. It
doesn't even matter
step.
if it
doesn't even mean that I believe it. It's
right.
not even saying that I believe it.
Right.
Much less that Kari Lynn believes it. It's just saying, this is what you said to me, and it's something. It's a place that we can meet. It's a small step, but it's a place that we can both meet in complete integrity.
Right.
It's a fact.
Right.
Greg said this,
and
so we go.
So
a small step, and to me it felt I can sense under there, like there's a way where it feels good. Ah, yes, she heard what I said, and then there's the bigger picture of, and I know she doesn't believe it, but we don't have to have a shared reality.
Right.
We don't have to have a shared reality.
We're not there yet.
maybe we'll get one.
Maybe
But we don't. That's Yeah, that's the possible future, but we actually can operate for now in this place of this very small step into being able to, her being able to hear me say this very chargy thing and just tell me she heard it.
And now we don't hate each other anymore.
Oh, we did at the beginning of this video, though.
Right.
Kari Lynn tells me.
Right.
I'm
before we started
back
this.
to you that at the beginning of the video, you said that we hated each other. Doesn't mean that I believe that, but that's what she said. And now we're going into a marathon of a session on Sunday.
God.
4 hours. 4 hours. What will happen? What's going to happen? As I used to say to my children.
Okay.
We'll be back to tell you.
Bye.
Bye.